Welcome to Backyard Agility. What I've done is gone around and scavenged all the things I could find in my yard that I could potentially use to do some training with my dogs while I'm sitting here all bored with lots of time. And actually, finally, some nice days in Washington. Been waiting a long time for that. So here's a few of the supplies I have found. I found quite a few bricks, which are quite versatile. So with one, I could do some foot targeting, front foot or rear foot targeting, where I have them come up and put their front feet on it or their rear feet on it. I could use two and have them put their front and their back feet on it. Straighter, maybe a little further apart, unless you got a little dog. I could push these together, maybe. Push these together, and now I have a little platform I can do some place work on, kind of like Motley's doing right here on the Spool. Another excellent place to make a place. Can do some sit down, stand, eye contact, spinning exercises on that. A couple more bricks and a board. Makes me a nice little baby dog walk, something low that they're not going to hurt themselves on, fall off of, scare themselves. That's important. I also am able to have him put his front feet up and do a little sidestepping with me back and forth. You saw a little bit of that in the video. Here I found a bucket. This bucket was very light, and I was worried about it just flipping. If they're off balance, it did. So I found some stakes that have a little hook, and I actually nailed this little bucket down, and it makes a great little place for them to put their front feet, rotate their hind end, and if I got that advanced, I guess we could do it the other way with their back feet up. Not there yet. Here is just a storage bin. See, I could tip that storage bin over and have them get inside of it as a box. That's a pretty high-sided box though. It would take some practice to get there. Over here I just have a weird little complex. This is my little fire pit. I didn't want to get him in. So I put some boards across here. The boards are a little wiggly. So you might have noticed that Motley, who did very well on his sit stand exercise on a solid brick, struggled here. And that had to do with the movement in the boards. And I didn't get upset. We just moved on because we were struggling. And I wanted to move on to something more positive that he could be successful at. So that's what we did. Let's see. I have a couple other supplies over here that are helpful. Here I have a roll of shelf lining. This could be used to put over slippery surfaces. We don't want them slipping and injuring themselves. Another thing that could be used for that is some old yoga mats cut up. We do lots of stuff with old yoga mats. So you could put that over a surface that's slippery. I could put it over the bricks. They're not really slippery, and kind of tuck it underneath. Another thing that I found that's very useful for foot targeting is just an old feed pan. They come in various sizes, big, small. This is kind of a medium-sized one. And then, last but not least, just a good old low-cut cardboard box. And this is fun for a box game. Really good at building confidence and some thinking skills. So for your challenge, I want you to gather up some supplies. At minimum, you will need to find a box, some sort of box that your dog can fit into. It doesn't have to be super huge. You'd be surprised what a big dog can fit into. But you do want a lower size, and you can take a big box and just cut the sides down low. So I want you to get something for front foot targeting. So something big enough they can put their two front feet on, a block, a bowl, the bucket. I'm sure I have a footstool in the house, a little stool, step stool, not a footstool, that I also use sometimes. So the other thing that I want you to get is some sort of a plank short dog walk. So just a board, I would say good, 6-8 inches wide. I also have, so I've got this board. I've got a couple old ramps that I just had from when I used to, oh, look, here comes Motley, showing you how it's done. A couple old ramps for getting dogs in and out of the cars that I incorporate. So the items to get together is a box, a ramp of some sort, board with a couple blocks or something, so ramp-like, a place, platform, spool, blocks, storage bin, and I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing? You're gonna have to cut this out. Box game, platform, nope, that's it, that's everything. All right, so 4 objects to scavenge for tomorrow's session: platform, box, dog walk, treats, toys, motivators. Yeah, and Autumn will talk to you a little bit more about motivation here in just a minute. Oh, look, Chicken wants to come do it. What?
A lot of times when you come into areas, you have a dog who gets a little bit distracted. A lot of times you're working in their yard where they're used to maybe fence fighting with some chickens or some sheep. So what I want to do is when you come out and find this scavenger hunt, find what motivates your dog. Keep them engaged with you and see if you can do a little bit play session. I'm not asking him to get on the equipment. I just want him to be focused on me with all the distractions going on. Killian here generally isn't a whole lot of treat motivated, so we'll see what he does. He's just a puppy. So I have the cheese here. Killian. Yes, good. So if he just gives me focus and eats his trees, I will play with cheese, but he won't eat it. So I brought his favorite toy out. Buddy, Killian. And so I just want him chasing. I'm gonna play with him, keep him engaged. Good, get it. Yes, good job, Killian. Yay, good boy. So there he goes. He didn't really care for the chicken that much. He came off fit, so I'm gonna reward it with a positive thing. Hi, can you put your front feet up? Yes, good boy. Yay, good boy. Yes. You want your toy? Do you want your toy? As you can see, he's very distracted, unmotivated, but I'm still rewarding any engagement he's giving me. I want you in this challenge to work on whatever he can do. Right now, he wants to jump on me and get praise, so I'm gonna reward that and keep going from that. So when you're finding your scavenger hunt items, go out in the yard, play with it. Figure out what's good for your dog, what he wants to do, eat cheese, whatever toys, treats you have, play with them, and keep them focused with you. Keep this a short little segment, about probably a minute, 30 seconds, of your dog and you just being engaged and related together.